Greetings, humans. I'm Andy.
And I'm George.
And this is Couscous.
And welcome back to the Windmill full of corpses.
Right. So, we've already heard this song. You can check out our reaction to it. But now they also put out a video, and we wanted to feature that as well because a lot of people were saying it's really cool and they seemed really proud of it, and just because we love Seven Spires. And I've already seen it because we were a bit torn. Are we going to watch it? Are we going to react to it? Are we not going to react to it? I just watched it. But then we also got a request for it, so now we're going to do it anyway. And this isn't exactly a reaction at this point, so we thought we'd do something a bit fun. You know how reactors, YouTube channels will do try not to headbangs every now and then? Yeah, those are fun, but with Seven Spires, really the biggest deal is try not to show emotion.
Yes.
Because they really hit the heartstrings.
Yeah, so it's essentially try not to headbang, but it's the Seven Spires style. So it's, try not to cry. Basically, what we're going to try to do is, as long as the song is playing, implacable face.
Yeah, we have to not show any emotion. Every time we show emotion, the score counter goes up 1. And if we cry, the first one who cries loses.
Yes.
Crying is off limits.
Yes. And it's just because we're doing a reaction to something that we already know, and he's even seen the video, so we had to do something extra.
Yeah, I have an unfair advantage because I know what's about to hit me more than he does.
Are you ready? No. From this moment on, the faces do not change.
Behold the gallery of love souvenirs. Behold the proof it wasn't just a dream. My mind is a museum of things held dear. My bones a mausoleum for my grief.
This makes me want to do faces.
Somehow I lived a decade, each passing year. A child chasing love through high esteem. No resting on my laurels, there's just die or win. Sequestered in the dark, afraid to be.
fucking can't. I can't. Oh, good going, Kels. We're done, right? We can show stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this was at the same time the dumbest and the greatest idea we've ever had. And I want to explain why. Oh.
Okay, so we did. I recognize Vicky Boyer.
Yeah,
And Kels.
I also recognized her in the video.
Kels is a fucking genius. Yes,
Okay,
Kels is a
wow. Okay, so
I really just okay. That was my idea that we should do Seven Spires and try not to show emotion, and I really wanted it just as a gimmick because we were reacting to something we know. So I wanted to give something extra as an entertainment factor. But it's actually really cool because you never realize how many things you feel until you try to stop them.
yeah,
Right? So it really made me hyper aware of just what a sensory experience this band is. Oh my god! Like my face feels tense up, like I need a massage or something.
I think I dissociated.
Yeah,
I think I switched to dissociating to not feel stuff.
yeah. I had at least 4 slip-ups. I have no idea. We're gonna have to see how we do the scoring system on camera to see who won.
We need to discuss something.
Mm.
Does getting goosebumps count?
Well, do you show it on your face?
I don't know.
If you
But I
don't,
show it on my arms.
if you don't show it on your face, I think it doesn't count.
Okay, because that would have been 3 extra losses for me.
Okay. Yeah.
This is gonna be really tricky to score.
Okay. The thing that I noticed first of all
Mhm.
is that what makes you stink face
Mm-hmm.
isn't necessarily a stinky riff.
Yeah.
I think one of the most challenging things was trying not to stink face through the intro part because it's got such a bitter emotion to it.
And because she was stink facing.
She was stink facing, Dylan was stink facing, Pete was stink facing. I'm not sure I saw Jack stink facing. Jack is a bit more laid back. But like, you really get a sense of how much, you know, you want to stink face when you try not to. So that was part of it. There's also things that show up in the video that are striking that make you go, okay, what the hell is that? And try not to show that it's brutal. But okay, can we like stop with the gimmick and just talk about the music?
Yes, because I actually wanted to discuss a lot of what's happening because, like I said, I've seen the video before. So I was already paying attention to details and there are a lot of ideas spinning in my head. But I'm going to let you go first. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so she's surrounded by all these like floating paintings that are all uncolored and kind of unfinished.
Yes.
So it kind of makes me think of like, you know, toiling away trying to essentially create, which is what they do, and you know, being stuck on a writer's block essentially, because you know, you're surrounded. It's almost like the fact that she's surrounded by all this unfinished work is like stuff that's in her mind that she's trying to get down, right? And the part at the end where she's just got like a whole burnt canvas is kind of like, you know, I can't speak as a creative because I'm not one, but I would imagine there comes that point where you're like ripping your hair out trying to get a piece to come together and you're just like, fuck this shit, I'm done with it. I can't do it anymore, right? And just kind of throw it away. So that was part of it. Is also that it's pretty dark imagery and she's alone when doing that. And then when you have them on stage, they're not only in front of an empty room, but there's that part where Jack and Pete are pointing towards the room and she's pointing away, right?
Yeah.
So that
I noticed that as well. I thought that's really powerful.
That kind of got me thinking of like, you know, turning inwards and speaking to yourself and refusing to look at who might receive what you have to say. Maybe because of a fear that they might not be there and they might not listen and they might not want to see and all that stuff. Those are some of the things that came to mind.
Yeah, that actually connects pretty well to the fact that the choir is completely unreactive to her. It's like they don't see her.
Yeah, and she's also kind of, you know, it's like the choir is singing and they're sitting there and she's examining, right? She's moving and like thinking. So it's like looking at your own creation and thinking, how do I get this not to suck? And my sense is, you're Seven Spires. Relax. It doesn't suck.
Yeah, but I think having that sort of, I hate the word perfectionism, but that sort of obsession with getting things right is part of what makes their art so visceral.
Yeah.
But I think you're wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah, you don't know the lyrics that well, do you?
Not that well, no.
The song's called Love's Souvenir.
Yeah.
And the first lyric is Behold the gallery of love's souvenirs.
Oh, shit. It's
So-
memories.
So the portraits are memories. And okay, here's my interpretation. So you have the red gown Adrian surrounded by the paintings.
Yes.
You have the white dress, almost bridal-like gowned Adrian that's like crawling on the floor and then meeting the choir and all of that. And then you have the black outfit band Adrian. And you have the images between them sort of always alternating. And my theory is this. Red Adrian is looking at memories. White Adrian is the memory. Because you have Red Adrian surrounded by the portraits, and it's the gallery of love souvenirs, and then you had these flashing images between Red Adrian losing her mind with the portraits and White Adrian losing her mind surrounded by the people, right?
Yeah.
So you could say that the scene with the people is like the memory in your head of something that went wrong that's just coming at you, and then the red scene is what's actually in the room, is just you alone with these thoughts in your head. And then you have Black Adrian, which is the incarnation of Red Adrian into the art. You take that shit and you yell it on top of blast beat, and then you're upright. Then you've put it to use, sort of. That's my interpretation.
You integrate your terrorizing darkness.
Yes.
Okay, that's a really cool take, actually. That's cooler than my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm not familiar enough with the lyrics. I haven't spun this album as much as the others because time and life and yeah, I hate that shit. I want to sit down with albums more.
Also, the burned painting
Mhm.
at the end,
Mhm.
it's also the first frame in the video.
Yeah.
But at the end, you see the frame facing her. At the
Mhm.
beginning of the video, it's from behind her, and you see the burned picture.
Yeah.
And there's like a castle on it,
Mhm.
and it's a fortress called home.
Oh shit.
So it's like trying to burn away the fortress, I guess.
Oof.
But that also made me think of Burn from the first album, where it's burning the cabaret.
Mhm.
So it's all of these things that are sort of connecting, and there are a lot of Solveig debut album Easter eggs on the Fortress album
Mhm.
in the lyrics. So it's like they hinted at everything in this video, at everything that the new album is, but also at their previous work.
Mhm.
It's so well done. And then there was another thing that I thought was really, really cool. When you have these frames where like the camera's on her face from a side, and there's like this grill in the way, that looks like a confessional. So it's almost like the song is a confession
Uh-huh.
of something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, something I got wrong, something that went wrong, something I regret, something like that.
Okay. I can tell you've watched the video some more.
Yeah.
It's cool to have the extra insight though.
I watched it twice.
I just have so much fucking respect for this band and for what they do. Like, yeah, it feels cliched to say this at this point because we've been saying it for 4 years, but nobody does feels like they do.
Yeah.
I just remember straight up, like, I think when we saw them, well, you've seen them live a couple of times. I've only seen them once.
Yeah.
Coming back home from that experience and like being afraid to play an album because of what it was gonna take me through. So yeah,
Did you go and listen to their albums?
of course I did.
Be a man. Be a man. Face your darkness. Are we done here?
No.
So if you enjoyed this quasi-reaction failure to not show emotion,
Yes.
we greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon.
Corpse is out.
That was the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Yes, it was great.
It was.